back for, this is it. This is our last time together. And I think we've got Elaine and Magdalena back with us from the Trauma Resource Institute to really bring us home, take us back inward a little bit. And I think before we do that, they asked us to share a few reflections. Jess, is there anything you want to say as we sort of wrap up the training piece and land here?
I'll just say that there's a reason that we added these pieces about taking care of yourself, and because we are in the position where we're trying to take care of everyone, whether it's our spouses, our children, our coworkers, our friends. We are doing extremely hard work, and it can be depressing and sad and scary. But I also know that I bring hope out of meeting all the people who are rowing the same boat, because we can row it farther together. And so this is our chance just to recognize we've got to take those moments to check in on ourselves and make sure that we are saving ourselves so that we can keep doing this important work. So let's not forget that. I think that's the most important thing we can do. And so I'm going to turn it over to the experts. That's Magdalena and Elaine.
Thank you so much, Shasta. I am very happy to report that Sunshine is back with us. You heard her sweet words before we went to break. And Sunshine, I'm turning this over to you now.
All right, we can go to the next slide. So I did check in and saw on the chat that we are competing with the Padres Rockies game, Elaine. It's the bottom of the sixth and they're all tied up. So I want to be mindful of our audience and leave room for self-care for folks, which to me is play and fun, right? You need to have some fun and you need to have play. So I just want to thank you all for inviting us back and say that it's so wonderful to go today, given the panels we have had. It's amazing to me to hear all the ways in which you all have remained connected, continue to remain connected, and so much of the same work that is being done at the Trauma Institute is also being done in the work that all of you are doing. When I think about adaptation and mitigation strategies, the flexibility and the resilience with which all of you have shown, it really just shows how much those of us who are stewards and caregivers align in our philosophies and our views. So with that being said, we really wanted to bring us back full circle to that Tree of Life activity today and really invite you all to take the time to utilize this gift and really invite this next piece of work, which is, if you go to the next slide, the opportunity to come back to these groups that we've established. I think, as so many of you have talked about, this is heavy work and it can be quite a lift. And I find one of the things that really helps to fill us up, to feed us, to water us, is really being able to be connected with those in that same forest that are doing that work. Being witnessed in community, sharing that wisdom, coming together and being reminded that you are not alone, that there are others out there, is such a powerful element of really solidifying those roots and really keeping that strength within our personal tree. So for this piece, we wanted to ensure that you all have that opportunity to take not just the tools of yesterday, but also the wisdom and the gifts of today, bring that together and intentionally take this time to really protect it and gather the fruits that have come forth from not just your efforts, but those around you today and yesterday. And what do those benefits look like in your tribal communities? How has that really been reflected? And how have you been able to share that? So we really wanted to go back into the activity and invite you to go to page 30 in your books and really work on this piece. So what do those benefits look like? How are we reflecting that within our communities? And then also, how are we planting those seeds? How are we dispersing them? And what is being planted? Not just what is being planted now, but also for our future generations. And there's something really intentional for those of us that are old school about writing this down, going through the process, putting pen to paper and really capturing where we are in this moment, right? As we protected the last 2 days, as we've had that opportunity to really think, to really be in the moment. What's coming forth? What are the fruits now? Because what you feel right now may look very different from how things may have felt even 3 days ago, how they may feel next week. So we really want to honor the time by really capturing that moment. So Elaine,
Yeah,
thoughts
so
on how we
yeah,
want to
they
do
have
the
10 minutes
transition?
right now, so they can work on the their reflections on those 2 questions right now. And then we're going to put you back into a breakout room where you can discuss your reflections. And it doesn't only have to be about these 2 questions. There might be more that's on your mind, because we didn't unpack the questions for was it 4 and 5 from yesterday. So we really want you to be wherever you are at this moment, to be able to reflect right now, and then to have some time to think about it as a self-reflection, and then to go into the breakout groups. So we'll keep the time, and we're going to give 10 minutes for this, and then Angie or Shasta, I'm not who the tech person will, or Serena will put you into a group for reflection, and we'll do that for 15 minutes. And then we'll come back to the larger group, and we'll ask a person from each group to share something that you came up with in your group. And maybe we can bring that wonderful whiteboard up, so we'll also have that to memorialize what comes out of your small groups. So, all right. We'll be quiet for 10 minutes. So maybe it's time for music, Serena, again. Wonderful comment to segue to Angie and Shasta for our closing.
Elaine and Magdalena, thank you so much for facilitating that, and just for bringing the Tree of Life activity, adapting it for this summit. Thank you for that. I was attracted to the branches for some reason in that last piece, and it's because I really feel those of you here that have been here with us the last 2 days, your role is so important. The work you're doing is so important. You are in this prime position. I scarily put you in between climate change impacts in your community. And I like instead picturing you going forth in your work with a tool belt on now. And not just now, but in the work you're going to be doing, with a shield, with some boots, with some friends, with all of us standing behind you, trying to provide support. And that you are there to divert whatever dangers you can. And I really just want to say that I think you are doing amazing work. So thank you for being here. Shasta.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on that because that extends to all of you. And I'm not going to make this long, because when it's at the end, you know, every word counts, because everybody wants to log off and you know, take a break. But I would be terribly remiss if I didn't point out and lift up the amazing work that Angie and Serena Vega and Serena Soor and Tina Fernandez in my office have done to make this happen, especially in the last 48 hours since we pivoted to virtual. You ladies are the best. And all of our facilitators are the best. I feel surrounded by love and friendship and caring. And I know we're all going to carry forward with this work. And maybe as Ryan suggested naming it, or Chase suggested naming it, the slackers. I'm Slack scares me, but I can learn. And we are just so grateful for everybody, and cannot wait to see you all in person when we can. I hope to see a bunch of you at the National Tribal and Indigenous Climate Conference in St. Paul. I will be there in person. I hope many of you are too. But until then, go outside, soak in some sun, give yourself a hug, and thank you all so much for being here. We'll be in touch soon with follow-up information, all of the chats, the links, and the presentations. And until then, love to you all.